Greetings and salutations.
Howdy.
We're hanging out with folks and doing things and talking about stuff. And my hair is all kinds of wild today, man. I don't know what's going on.
Put me away.
It's all kinds of crazy. Uh-oh. There's Mr. Bladen. Oh, I'll fix you. Sorry. Hold on. I got you. I'm gonna fix you up. I gotta figure out how to. Hold on.
What's wrong?
I gotta fix.
No, I gotta hook up the art cam.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, well, we had like a pretty solid torso shot there. I was all like, oh, is this like dinner and a show? Like, I was about to get really like
excited.
Well, I'm sad that I've got my phone instead of my computer, which has a much larger screen.
Oh no! Good lord!
What?
I'm
just saying, photo reference material and blackmail are never above me.
Oh no! All right. Well, for
now I know what to look for.
Let me figure this layout thing. It's not letting me put in. There we go. Move, add to stream. How's it going, everybody? We're just trying to get this. I don't know why it's doing weird stuff.
Technical difficulties.
It is, man. It's very difficult. Super difficult. There's Bladen's stuff that he's got going on. We didn't have this problem last week. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so we're going to talk about comics, and we're going to talk about stuff and things we've got going on. Shift +3. There's all kinds of new things that...
They put a lot of new stuff here the last couple of weeks.
Man, I'm telling you, StreamYard's been doing some wild stuff. But anyway, we're definitely doing things, and we're seeing cool stuff, and we're talking about shenanigans. Hold on, let me at least move that over there like that. Anyway, so we've got Bladen Hunter, we've got April Reyna, and then we've got, I don't know why I think it's doing that because it's Bladen's like additional stream. There we go. I got it fixed. I figured it out.
Way to be extra.
Hey man, you know we gotta get it to work some ways sometimes.
I didn't do anything. I just finally logged in the right thing.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
So there we go. I think that worked, right?
That looks good.
Yeah. So now you can hear Bladen, see Bladen. Well, what Bladen's doing anyway. And we've got Nate. We love Nate. Nate's a good dude. Nate's a huge follower of comic books. He keeps up with all kinds of stuff and the shenanigans that we're all doing. Great dude. He's also going to start reviewing Ethereal comics for me. I'm very excited about that, which I guess that means Nathan is part of the Ethereal team now, and we're very happy about that. So we're gonna hook this guy up, and you guys will start getting to see his streams more often and a lot more Ethereal out of Nate.
Yeah, I mean that's
what we got going on right now.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, no, the fun parts, man. The fun parts. All right, so we got April who's doing a crazy looks like amazing Harry Potter thing going on up there.
Yeah, I kind of started it on my my Tuesday show on the Artist Alley Shopping Network, and I'm kind of hoping to get it done. I don't know. I usually go to Phoenix Comic Con and do stuff for this gal, and I'm not going to be there this year. And she's like, but Fred and George are going to be there, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I can ship it to you. I routinely do some Harry Potter related art for her, and she gets it signed by the actors and actresses that happen to come to Comic-Cons. And so far, she's had Luna Lovegood sign, and definitely the Weasley boy. Oh my God, what's his name?
Ron?
Ron. Thank you. And then she's also had Lucius Malfoy and somebody else. So yeah, we've got like a running. This is kind of a thing that we do, and it is weird for me not to be there. So, completely unrelated. I even did a Discord My Little Pony piece, and James Woods signed that, and I was like, "Oh my god, you're gotta be kidding me! He's so amazing! I love it."
Yeah, for sure.
Super
All right,
speed
and
worthy.
we got Bladen Hunter down at the bottom as usual. Ethereal's art director, great dude. What are you working on down there, sir?
I'm doing scriptures first. Can you do a little icon right there?
What?
Well,
Yeah, I can't.
That's just another account, so I can see you guys. You can put that back.
Oh, okay, right on. Let me close that one.
That's just so I can still see you guys over there, because my phone is where everything is going on, right here.
All the things are going on. I got you right on.
Touch you.
Touch you. Get close. Reach out and love on somebody.
And the only
Give
way
all
that
the
Ethereal
love.
will allow you.
We have to sign a waiver to do certain touching, so be careful.
hey, there's NDAs for that.
I need an adult.
Yeah.
I think one of our Kickstarter tiers could be a back row at a show. I'll do it.
Oh, whoa. Hey, hold on. How much do I have to pay for that one? I'm going to show up.
I'm
right,
just
so
gonna
you guys
watch.
Oh, gosh. You guys are working on cool stuff. Let's go ahead and Nate, I sent you a ton of books the other day. Have you had the opportunity to read anything that you had not read before?
I was reading through BGD 1 and 2 because I have not had those yet. So I just started this morning reading through that one.
Right.
I reread the Listener 1 and 2 already because it's complicated with the Listener, so you really have to pay attention. So I'm trying to dissect it right now.
Oh man, I think that's such a fun book. Like it really, really is. And we've moved to Ed Garcia as the artist for that book. And it's wild, wildly fun book. And BGD, man, we're mailing out BGD 3 right now, and BGD 4 is live on Kickstarter. I can't tell you how much fun it's been to work with Bladen and to work with David Ocampo on BGD. I mean, it's been such a pleasure. I remember seeing the very first page of BGD and going, holy balls, like just holy balls. Because normally when you see a comic book and you open that first page, you're like, oh, cool. There's a setting, or we're about to get pushed into a direction or whatever. And there's normally 1 or 2 characters, 3 or 4 max characters on a page. I think you did like 100 characters on that very first page.
Half of them are just little scribbles, so don't worry about it too much.
Don't pay any mind to him.
He's being so modest.
And I mean, it was just such scope on that page that I was like, this is incredible, and I was ready to run with it. And
thanks.
Is that a pun because they all have scopes on their rifles?
I don't think that was intentional.
The unintentional pun.
The unintentional puns are great. Then we got into we went through issue 1. We showed you the club. We showed you a couple things going on, introduced the characters real well, I thought. And then, I was just talking to my buddy George the other day on his show, which that show will be live. You guys will be able to see that in the next couple of months. But it was a ton of fun talking to him about the dialect for Maya, like how we managed to get this coming from a dude that's, first language was Spanish. It was a lot of fun to talk to him about, where we got the dialect from, how we worked her dialect in.
Just get some Creole demonstration.
Yes, are we going there already? Is that a thing? We're going there already? No. So it was mad fun to work with a bunch of my close friends to get the dialect down for Maya because it had to be right. It couldn't be silly. It had to make sense. So it was a great experience working on book 1. And then we got into book 2 and it was like hashtag Naked Dinosaur John Wick. And that was just a blast, an absolute blast. To be able to do something I don't know that anyone else has done in a long time.
Naked John Wick style dinosaur comic.
Yeah. I don't know that anybody else has done Naked Dinosaur John Wick before.
I think we'll claim it.
That I think that's ours for eternity. I don't think that's going to be a problem. We're working on C. God bless C. She's amazing. So speaking of C, we've got the second book that's coming to us from the printer in the next few weeks. Really, really excited about you guys getting to see more Ryoshi and Ryoshi's story. Nate, what did you think of If It Hops, man?
Oh, well, first of all, that was my first foray into ethereal, was If It Hops.
Right on.
Which issue?
The issue 1.
Okay, thanks.
So I jumped in on issue 1, and it's really because I saw Devin. I saw some of Devin's art. And that's what
right on, yeah.
Because I was already reading Cave Woman, at the time.
For sure.
So that kind of brought me in. But If It's Hopped, I'm like, okay, this is something different. This is like, okay, what's up with these bunnies? So I started reading through it and started seeing the background, like the evolution of a character already within one story.
Right.
You see how she goes from a day to day, how she's normally doing, getting up, getting ready to go to work. She goes to work, but now she already finds that there's this issue happening where a killer that was supposed to be in jail comes out, and somebody's let him out. It was hinted at in the book that he was let out because he was supposed to be in this like maximum security prison. And so to let him out, somebody had to do it. And I'm already thinking in the back of my head the way the chief was in that book, the way he's acting, that he's kind of in cohesion with somebody on this one. So
Panda power.
We like the panda.
Exactly.
I don't know. He's not black or white. He's like,
Yeah, he's in between. He's a gray character.
There you go.
Yeah. We'll kind of call him Bad Panda from now on.
Bad Panda. You're not the only person that's mentioned the issues with said Bad Panda. So we're probably going to see a little bit more of that and figure out what's going on with him and what's, in issue 2, you get to see a panel of him or a panel or two of him doing some stuff that may incriminate him a little bit, but we'll see about what he's got going on. But he's a lot of fun to put together too. He reminds me a lot of like that dude that everybody thinks is really sweet until they close the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's this really, really kind guy when everybody's around, but as soon as it's just you and him, it's like I'm the panda and you're like I'm an omnivore. Don't forget, you know what I mean? So,
you're looking a lot like eucalyptus right now, buddy.
Yeah.
Eucalyptus
or your ass.
Bamboo, my bad. Yeah.
But the one thing that's nice about it though is it could be twofold. It could be he's doing something bad because he's being made to do something bad, and change because of that, or it could be he's just an asshole, and he's doing it because he's being paid off as a corrupt cop to do it.
Dick Panda.
Well, you never know. Lawful good is not always lawful nice, right?
That's it. There's a lot of characters that you'll run into in ethereal books that are gray. I don't like the clear pool of water. I'm really not a fan of that because it's so simple, right? We love Clark Kent. He's the nice guy, the good guy, all around American hero. That's Clark Kent. He's never going to be anything different unless you're talking Elseworlds or anything like that. You know what I mean? Injustice, stuff like that.
Mainline is pretty much dissecting him and destroying him.
I haven't killed him lately.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I picked up a Superman book.
He should be that way, but yeah.
Well, that was, that as kids, that was how he was. You know what I mean? He was that type of character, and I haven't read it because I don't like bad art. We're just going to be honest real quick. But anyway, as you're going forward and you're looking at these characters and these character archetypes and stuff like that, you've got your always guys, your yes mans, and your definitive good guys. And as much as I love Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock has been one of my favorite characters since he was introduced into the Marvel Universe many, many, many moons ago. I don't think that's another character that I don't think is what he was back then. You know what I mean? And but I feel like we're getting to this point where if I write a character that you can figure out what exactly his motivations are within like the first issue, it's not fun anymore. Now it's like you already know what's going to happen, so we don't want to continue that route. We want to make sure that we're moving in a direction that has some kind of mystery. Like we were talking about Cretaceous Biohazard the other day, and which is looking beautiful, by the way. That book is going to be amazing. And you guys are actually absolutely going to love that. It's super fun, super gory scenes, lots of ethereal, etherealness, or spices. We'll call them ethereal spices. There's a lot of ethereal spices in there, but there's something to be said about an easy to read book too, though. You know what I mean? You don't always have to read Dickinson to enjoy a good book. You know what I mean? You don't always have to pick up oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name right now? Well, yeah, I mean, but you're not trying to read any an epic poem all the time. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that you can pick up something, enjoy it, and walk out. I'm not trying to give you Dante's Inferno in every book, but I want to give you something that your mind can, chew on a little bit. And I think that's a really fun thing to do. Again, because if you can understand it right off the bat and you can figure it all out and there's no nuance to it, there's no meat to that. It's just, you just picked it up and it's like, oh, okay, I've already figured it out. Versus if you get a turn halfway through it or a little bit of mystery, it gets your attention, the page turn, SK is popular about talking about the page turn. One of the best compliments I've ever gotten was from Devin Massey, and I was a master of the page turn, and I'm very appreciative of that because it is something that's terrifying every day, is trying to make sure that you put out content that's gripping, it's exciting. There's nothing boring about it. And I'm a big fan of, wonder and excitement. I think you guys are going to get plenty of excitement with Cretaceous coming up. You're going to get plenty of excitement with My Metal Girl coming up. Oh my gosh, There Be Shadows, all kinds of fun stuff, Nate, is there anything you've heard about recently that you're excited about?
There Be Shadows.
Yeah, There Be Shadows.
And what I'm excited to see is these artists. It's different artists that's going through these different issues. Like, it's not the same people. That's kind of the catch-22 with a lot of Kickstarters. You see the same people doing the same thing over and over and over again. And, and it's not that you don't get burnt out on your favorite artist, but you kind of want to do something different. So for me, I typically pick up the A cover every time because I like the original, the trade dress, but then I'll pick up other ones. Like, I would go out of my comfort zone. Like, I've never bought from this person before. Let me try their art. Let me take a look at it and see.
For sure.
I love that. I respect that. Like, I mean, they are the ones that are going to be inside the book. They're like, we're introducing some new artists and getting some new people to work with.
How many we have? What we have? The guy that's coming in from My Metal Girl is new. The guy from Cretaceous is new. We've got quite a few new talents coming in for sure. April would know better than me.
Yeah, we'll have more books coming out as we go further into the year too. So, and we're absolutely working on the ones we're working on already. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, we've got Barbalians coming out. We've got, holy cow. Well, it is a title in progress. What is it? Working title. That is the working title. because I can remember it. It's easy.
It's water cooler title.
That's
Yeah.
well, that's like Utah VD. You know what I mean? It was a water cooler title. You know, it's like EILF for Fallen Leaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which
I was not
soon
gonna
to
call that
be.
book Elf I'd like to fuck.
What
I
you
just wasn't gonna do it.
But we could make a whole new art book that could be titled that with
We
zero
have-
conflict.
Hey, that'd be a gallery book.
We do have an interesting concept that we're talking to Mr. Wilson about right now. So we'll see how that pans out in the next week or so. Next Friday, we'll talk about that live, but because I'm sure I'll talk to him tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. But we've got, you know, so many cool projects coming out. You know, you've got a couple different ethereal art books. I know that we're trying to drop the These Neon Streets by the end of the year. Which,
So, yeah.
if we don't get that one out, it's okay. But we're working on it. That's a
Does everybody know about that? Does everybody
Yeah,
know about what that is, or do we want to review?
Well, we've talked a little bit about it a few times. These Neon Streets is a compilation of different stories that. So what I was doing was I wrote short stories for a bunch of indie writers, and I offered them to. I gave them the meat and the potatoes, and I asked them how to figure out how we got there for each of these stories. And it was a lot of fun.
So it's kind of more of an anthology, and it's going to have multiple artists, multiple writers. So it'll have a little different taste and flavor for each story, but it's all going to be based off of the world of Dave Score Dinosaur.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. But it was a lot larger. So when I started this undertaking, it was like right when it was like a year ago, a little over a year and a half ago. But it's such a large undertaking that I wasn't ready for how big it would be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had never done a 120-page book. You know, that's just not something I had done before. And it was very exciting to work on. It's very exciting to see develop. But in the amount of time that you work on a book that's that large, you also end up you're just working on your other stuff at the same time, you know, because you can't stop working, you know what I mean? To work on a larger project, you have to do it in the meantime, you know, while you're working on other things. And it's evolved and it's gotten better, and we brought more and more people on it. And it's going to be very, very big book. I'm really excited about it. It's probably going to be bigger than our trade paperbacks, which are over 120 pages a piece. Which, speaking of trade paperbacks, BGD's trade paperback is live right now on Kickstarter, which is issues 1 through 4 of Babes Born Dinosaurs.
People can catch up and then get stuff set up with the story. So
yeah, for sure. There's definitely there's a Blade and Hunter tier on there, which is cover A's for issue 1 through 4. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can pick up on that one. There's original art pieces. For the first time, we've actually put the entire book available for order. The pages for each page out of that entire book are available.
Yep.
So that's pretty awesome. We've never done that before. I'm really excited about it to see what people think. But these Neon Streets will be a lot of fun. You know, we had JT Malloy do some artwork and do a great story. You know, Chuck Pinot's in there, April Reyna's in there, Blade and Hunter's in there, Ed Garcia's in there.
Yep.
I mean, there's a ton of talent in that book. Like Bill Farmer's in there. I mean, there's just so much talent in that book that it's ridiculous. I think people will really, really enjoy it. And then we've got, like I said, we've got a couple art books we're working on, and tons of good stories. Like, so one really cool thing about this upcoming campaign, because on the 14th, Theater 7-2 will go live on the 14th of this month.
Penny.
Yeah, man, we're back with Penny. Oh my gosh. Some of those covers are ridiculously good. You know, and I just got off the phone with Devin Massey talking to him about the book the other night. And almost all the interior pages are finished. So I'm really, really excited about it. and he has been slaying that book, like slaying that book. If you guys haven't read Theater 7, you'll be able to do a catch-up tier on the next campaign as well, or reach out to me and ask me for a copy of issue 1. I mean, I've got them. And it's just a really fun book. And right now, you know, working with someone that's worked in that genre for so long, I'm really grateful, because not only do I have a teammate to work with, but I've also got, you know, I've been a fan of his for so long, you know, so not only do I have a peer, a partner to work with, but I've also got a gentleman that can help me grow in my own style with that book. And it's been super, super fun. And just so if anybody's curious, that book is going to go on for a very long time, like a very long time. And yeah, for real, dude, we're already, you know, shooting ideas to each other for the next arcs after like the next 2.5. Nice. You know what I mean? We're already pushing that product. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That C looks awesome. What was her name, April? That lady in the background, that evil teacher. Do you remember what her name was?
Oh, like, what are you talking about?
No, I just happened to look up because the screen is so big that I only see like 2 panels on it unless I look over. So I'm like, Umbridge. I hated that lady.
Everybody does.
Oh my gosh, terrible lady. But so yeah, so we're moving into this issue coming up will be the last part of this first mini series that we've done for Theater 7. So you'll get into this, and then we'll finish it up in issue 3 for the Return to the Future stuff, and then you guys get dropped into Big Snake, and that's gonna be so fun. Dick jokes galore. Like, I could not even.
It's enough to make you blush.
Oh, it was making me blush. Like, there was no way. I was like, I can't write that.
But and Heather's like, move over, baby. I
got
this.
My wife's like, I'll take care of it. I'll write it. But there's this, like, you know, he brought me out of my comfort zone. You know, Devin was so helpful and just, you know, so willing to help me like expand and improve as a writer, that, you know, he was like, don't hold back on Theater 7. You know, give it everything you've got, because that's what people want to read. Give it everything you got. And I was like, you know, I remember there's a page. There was a panel where my wife was actually like, are you shitting me? Did you really write that? And I was like, yeah, it's in there. And next thing you know, I'm getting a call from Devin, and he's like, that's the greatest shit. Make sure we keep that. And I was like, oh, man. So, but it's very fun. It's very much a, you know, I don't even know what you'd compare it to, like almost like a scary movie type of thing, you know, when we were kids and whatnot. It's just like the brand Scary Movie, not a scary movie, but it's just locker room humor, and it's a great time. And anybody can enjoy it. You know, it's got that nostalgia factor that's just like bam and in your face. And I think that's a blast to work with. You know, like I said, we're finishing up Return to the Future in this issue coming up, and then we've got, you know, the Big Snake stuff coming out, and then we've got Big Ass Worms,
Tremors.
So, you know, and that's a water cooler title for that arc too. So I have the Tremor stuff's gonna be fun. You know, we've got a Furballs thing going on. We've got, you know, some gnarly stuff coming out, because it's so much fun to work with the kitschy old school stuff, you know, the stuff that we enjoyed as kids. You know, I'm sure we'll get into Species at some point. I'm sure we'll get into, you know, a couple other books that'll be really, really fun. I think Penny would be absolutely super fun in a species book. So we'll definitely be working on that. But she's evolving as a character, and she's enjoying the situations that she's finding herself in. So, and then the next issue is, I guess the next issue is 1, 2, yeah. So issue 3 will be big on first appearances. If anybody's chasing first appearances from any of our books for Theater 7. So, but speaking of Theater 7 and of what's Greed is coming up as well, this will be our first campaign where we've done 2 books on one campaign. Nate, how do you feel about a campaign like that?
Well, it's twofold. So it's I get 2 for 1, but then also the focus isn't on specifically one book this time. So what it does is it opens up the aperture a little bit of being able to reach multiple customers at the same time. So say you're not a Theater 7, fan, but you're a Greed fan. Well, you can get your Greed book, or maybe you'll dip your toes into the water with Theater 7 because you're getting your Greed book like you've already been reading. So looking at from that perspective versus more money, as a customer side of it, you're like, okay, now I'm spending more and more money in one campaign. But then also you think about, it's not going to say it's like entitlement, but it's kind of like I'm getting both at the same time. So it makes you feel good, kind of like at the same way.
But you wind up spending so much money on the shipping part. It's basically half of a book. So if you can do a 2 for 1, basically, wouldn't that go a long way in helping the pocketbook if you do pick up more than just one book, just to try it out? I mean, I don't know. It was an idea that I felt had monetary value for our consumers, and I don't know, it just felt like such a great idea to
well explore. I think it's a good idea as well. I think that a lot of, we're in a lot of different countries, so it's like, that when it comes to shipping to different countries, it's like, anywhere between $25 to $60 to ship one book to certain countries in the world right now. And I don't ever feel like people should have to pay that much. I think it's shenanigans. But we only, to be fair, we only charge people exactly what we have to spend to ship them. So it's literally like when you go, I want 9 books from Ethereal in a year, but let's say I live in Australia, but that's $450 in shipping in a year just for 9 different campaigns. So I was like, to April's point, if we go, okay, well, if it's $50 for one book, but it's only $52 for 2 books. You know what I mean? And same thing with shipping in the country right now. Like most places, if I ship you a book, it's between $6 and $8. Because I don't use media mail because media mail is bullshit and it always ends up messed up. I just refuse to do it. So when we ship these books out, you can always expect them to come in a Gemini and come, and look nice and be cared for when they arrive at your home. But if we can, for that extra $1, that is what we charge, the extra $1 for shipping, instead of charging you another, for a separate event for $8, that's the way we'd like to do it. And a big thing with me with this, and everybody knows we moved to the new printer. They've helped us a lot, and they're beginning to they're literally smashing our books out for us. We're books that would normally take months are getting here in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, so and we've only been with them for a few months, but it's been a phenomenal experience. So to that point, if you guys can schedule what you pick up, I think it's better for the consumer. It really is, because we can go, okay, well, guaranteed in X amount of weeks, this book will be here, which we couldn't do that before. You know what I mean? It was not a thing we could do. So now it's like, okay, now we're getting, If It Hops this month with this other book. Let's say it's BGD. It'll never be BGD and If It Hops. But if it was BGD and If It Hops and it comes out on the 14th, next month on the 14th, we're going to do the campaign for Theater 7 and Cretaceous Biohazard. They'll come out together. And then the following month on the 14th will be this book and this book. It's much easier to schedule. And I think that for people that like to get their metal books, they like to get all the covers there. And we love that. Completionist is really cool because I do it. I chase full runs of covers and stuff. But it's not for everybody. But like I said, it makes it easier. If you can prepare yourself and not have to get stuck with 2 campaigns or get stuck with 3 campaigns, because literally no one else is doing what we're doing. So we're writing the rules for what we're doing right now. We're the ones that are figuring out what is the way to do this, because no one else has done it. So we can't be like, hey, how did you do 2 to 3 campaigns every month? I mean, how'd you do that? Well, I don't have any peers out there that are doing 2 to 3 books a month. So I don't know how to, hey, buddy, can you tell us what's the right way to do this to make it good for people? So this is how we've decided to do it. And that means, though, that you guys will get the extra stickers. You'll get the extra, all of the stretch goals now pertain to both books. So instead of 1 sticker for free, you'll get 2 stickers for free, or what have you. But we've also got something else that's really cool that I think is a lot of fun. Devin Massey's crossover If It Hops stuff did really well. Like, people enjoyed it a lot, and Mitch's stuff, people really enjoyed it. So we're bringing covers that are crossover covers for each campaign. That'll be exclusive to the Kickstarters. You'll have, like, right now you've got Greed and Theater 7 covers that are specific to each book that'll drop with the campaign. And that's just super, super cool to me. And if people dig it, we'll continue to run with that. The next set of books will have its own crossover covers, and I think it's a lot of fun. Working on 2 books in tandem versus, putting them out staggered is a very interesting can of worms. But it also gives us the opportunity to work with more talent, and it gives us the opportunity to highlight more talent. Like right now, for those folks that are Steph Wilson fans, coming up, you can snag his, combination of covers for Greed and Theater 7. There'll be, you'll get all 4 covers for $55 instead of $70. If you buy them together, there's ways for people to save money, and there's just interesting little nuances to doing these books together. And I had, when it comes to like Blade and Hunter, doing cover A's for multiple books for Ethereal, I never want to stress our artists either, though. So it's like, hey, if you're doing interiors for this book, I'm not going to be like, hey, bud, do you want to do 4 covers this month? It's just, we're not trying to smash people. We're trying to improve. We're trying to, instead of, instead of being on a wagon, we want to move to a car. You know what I mean? It's like, we just want to keep improving the process that we've started. And I think that you guys will start seeing that more and more in different aspects of this, like the posters, actual posters coming out, like movie size posters, not just 11 by 17s.
I love those.
That's got to be the Kill Cam one. It's got to be, baby. Oh my God.
Can you imagine the Kill Cam?
Oh my God.
That'd be so big.
I know.
It'd be so big.
So big.
Pretty wide. Do you have are we allowed to show that?
Yeah, you can show
maybe
those
for a second. No, yeah. I don't have that. Like the color and all that.
Yeah, April can show them if she wants to.
Fuck, I sent
working.
all that to you guys.
Hold on. I'll hold on. Well, then y'all
This is
talk
work.
for a
We're
second.
working here.
That's right.
Well, I'll talk while they work.
Yeah,
So,
y'all talk a little bit.
so I think it's a great idea to get 2 books. Like for me as a consumer, I'm all about saving money. You know,
Right.
now the catch 22 is going every month. You know, that tells people that you need to plan. You know,
Right.
to be ready every month for
But it also
this.
shows that we are consistent in putting out good work. So that's the important thing for us
Correct.
to maintain, for sure.
Because it actually goes back to the older model of like when you would go to an LCS. You know, you'd go to an LCS once a week, you pick up your books, you know, and you'd be good to go. But you knew every week which books were coming out. You knew which ones, you know, that you're gonna have to pay for and be ready for it. So I mean it's that mentality that I actually like that because like for my LCS here, I go once a month and I know that once a month it's gonna be X amount of dollars. And so with the Kickstarter, that's all going to be on me on how many covers I pick, you know. So you got to be smart about it, but then you also are going to be able to get a big dividend out of it because now you're getting 2 books at the minimum. And so now I can go read 2 more stories and put out 2 more reviews for Dustin, you know, at the same time. But at the same time, I'm also getting multiple artwork pieces as well. And like now with the new way of adding OAs, like I was telling Bladen, that was the first thing I jumped on. As soon as you put up that OA, I'm like, I'm jumping on that because
For sure. I love that, right? The original art is so amazing. Like we've got a ton of it right now, but I got the files. April sent them to me. I was downloading them anyway from the Google Drive, but I think this is the first set we have done for Killcam. And Bladen did them a long time ago. I mean, they've been done for a while, but April colored them and they came out really, really good. This is a connecting cover set for the first issue of this book. So that's the first piece. And then you've got the middle piece. And then you've got the right-hand side. Really, really excited about these. We actually showed the cover of the 3 of them that Bladen had done as well. So, but yeah, they're a lot of fun. The colors are just eye-popping. I love the space stuff. I'm just blown away by the space stuff. I'm just like, holy crap.
Smudge tool.
Yeah. They came out awesome. Really excited about it.
Spent like 3 weeks coloring that. It was.
Shawnee said they're vibrant and amazing.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank
they are.
you. They will be totally worth gargantuan wall-sized poster
Man, can you imagine
option.
doing 3 giant movie-sized posters for that book?
God, right?
I
And
love
then
that.
be like, Ready Comics, I need you to glow in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Back to the 90s.
Glow in the dark.
Oh my god.
Damn.
And like secret mushrooms in the back
Can we
or
get the
something.
black felt?
Oh my gosh. Y'all are funny.
With clowns.
Black light. Yeah.
Oh no, no.
Oh my gosh. Well, so not only are we working on those books, we got a lot going on, but we've also got Underland 2 coming out. We're really excited about that. And for those of you guys that haven't seen the Underland covers, the team brings those. They bring the fire with the Underland covers. I think I've got a Greg Bow cover right there from issue 1. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Shawnee said she was going to say Blacklight. Of course. I'm with you on the Blacklight, dude. I used to have all that shit in my house. Before my kids were born. That's fair. Before my kids were born, I had all that shit in my house. But we keep talking about Cretaceous, and I am very excited about this book. Like, very, very excited about it. You know, we've got an amazing art team. You want to tell us about that one a little bit there, Bladen Hunter?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I mean, April can say a little more. So that page is going to have some edits. That one's going to be altered a bit. Do you have any of the other pages?
I have, to be fair, and
There's the pencils, but we haven't gotten inks on the other two.
I love you guys pieces, but to be fair, my amazing management team, they don't show me stuff unless it's done anymore.
Because we say, "Oh, hey, cool,"
awesome.
and then they think they're done.
Yeah. They're like, "Thanks for showing me this," and they're like, "Well, I don't ever have to think of this again."
Yeah.
Like,
we're like, "Wait, no."
Yeah.
Come back.
I try to make it easy for them, but
you make it too easy.
So I have seen the rough thumbnails. So as people know, we don't just magically start with ink lines and making things all freaking pristine. So for the art process, we do start with more of a rough page. Let me see if I can find something like just. So we'll have like blue line where it'll have stuff put together, like really rough, and then each iteration that we go over something with pencil, like I'm doing right here from the blue. That's kind of our process. So right now for Cretaceous, I've seen all the roughs for the entire issue, and it is looking really good. We're going just tweaking a few things, and then he'll be throwing them up on the pages. We'll give the blessing on the line art for the pencils, and then it'll be off to colors, and that thing's on its way.
Dope. I'm so excited. Now, are these cards for sale tonight there, Mr. Hunter?
We'll see. Let's see if I kill them in the marker phase. I might make them terrible, so we'll see.
Right on.
I called dibs.
He said I called dibs. I don't think that's possible for you to fail them. But speaking of Theater 7, if none of you guys have seen interiors for Theater 7, it's an amazing, amazing book. Like Devin Massey's been doing interior art for a really long time, and he knows how to create panels. Look at, Jesus. And again, I give him a lot of props for the toilet bowl cleaning panel right there. I don't know that that's ever been done before either, so we're going to claim that one too before someone gets there. But that was from issue 1, and it was so much fun. This was the very first page from Theater 7. Mm-hmm. And I actually think one of our fans has the artwork for that. I don't have that one anymore. Oh, absolutely, Shawnee, for sure. I know I don't have that page anymore. I don't think. Well, maybe. I know somebody's got that one. Somebody's got that page. Well, I thought I kept like one of them for myself. Like one page I kept for myself.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Oh, for sure. I made an error with all the other books. I didn't keep any pages.
Yeah.
For any other books we put out. I didn't keep any of them.
Well, I made some errors by doing the first 2 Babe Score Dinosaurs almost completely digital. So that's
that we all learn and we grow. One of the coolest things that Bladen does now with the books that he does digitally is he prints them in that blue ink stuff that he was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes back and does it all by hand again.
Yep, so that's the part that I love. So I'm not going to get away from that ever again.
It's really cool to see him do that. Yeah, it is one of the things everybody loves about me, how decisive I am. I try to be. I don't try to mess anybody up too much. Speaking of decisive, I was given a cover. And April and Joseph had greenlit this cover and for Babe Score Dinosaurs 4. And I was totally thrown off by it. And I'm not often thrown off by art. And the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. It was something that I wasn't expecting when I first saw it. And it grew on me as we were working on this project. And it's this one. I was just it's so different than most of any of the other stuff we've put out. It was very I don't know, man. It was
by Fett, one of our new artists, and he's actually going to be working on one of the Neon Street stories. He's putting a little bit of work in there, and then we're going to see about getting him on a full-time book. So we're working with Fett because he's pretty badass dude. Not Boba, sure. But he might be related. We don't know. So,
well, there's a lot of cool stuff that we're putting out. Right now, I can't talk about BGD4 enough. And Bladen did an absolutely incredible cover. I think we've shown it to you guys before, but I'll show it to you again because I am absolutely over the moon about this one. Like, this is just badass to me. Like, it's I was like, hey man, we're doing Alien homage covers for this one. Let's, we'll do something fun with it. And because the story is very, like, I wrote it in line with, well, you guys will see it and you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
You can almost smell that cover. Like, just, something's going on down there.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, it's just like, the fact that what the whole concept of this particular issue was fun for me to write.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was, you learning more about these characters and their past.
Both pieces of the story of it are actually really fun. So
for sure.
There's a little more action-packed part, but then there's some character, like, personality work too. So,
oh man, I had a lot of fun working with Serenity in that book. That's she gets some real love in that book, which was fun for us. And then the last cover that we had come in was one that April did on the spot as a joke to me, and I loved it. I just thought it was great. I was like, let's run with that. I've not seen the movie, but I was just like, that's so relevant to, what's going on in the world right now that it's a great cover. So we'll run with that. But the pages that Bladen did for this particular issue of BGD are phenomenal. Like, they're just perspective is, man, like when I write stuff, I tend to write to the artist. Because most of them I've worked with and most of them I know their skill sets, but Bladen and I work together like fucking peas and carrots. You know what I mean? It's
fun. And I mean, I'm like, the way you write the scripts lets me really work some stuff in, and some of the pages I can add little quips or little things just to kind of inspire you even more for when you solidify everything at the end.
Sure.
But like, the way you write it lets me kind of control a little bit more with the page on, like, sizing and panels and stuff like that. So I really, really appreciate that.
Absolutely. This one is, and we've talked about this numerous times, but this is probably one of my favorite panels you've ever done.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah,
that's the one I want.
All right, I'll board it, package it up for you. All right.
I'm sure we've got. We'll make sure you get that one. But it was such a fun thing to put together, and to see like the development, like Renee Roth, right? I mean, just coming out and growing with every cover that she does with us. Every one of them looks better than the last one, in my opinion.
The Greed one that she's working on right now is outstanding as well.
I imagine it is. I can't even. Like I said, we work with talent that is just over the top. I'm proud of everybody we work with. I'm proud of all the work they put in. Shawnee says, especially with that first page, Bladen's art has the anticipation jumping off the page.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I am, and speaking of people that have turned in fun covers recently, Steph Wilson and Carrie Ann have quite a few good covers that are about to drop.
Yeah, homage as well. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite that they've turned in.
But that's I worked with this one. This was
I know you say that, but still,
this one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It was good to work on. And then you got LC Freitas, who's killing stuff right now. I mean, absolutely just killing stuff.
His pinups are so appealing. Like, just the movement in them are really great. And each piece he does is really, really awesome.
This was awesome to me. There's so much storytelling in this, like that over the shoulder look, like, excuse me, the door was closed or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, did you knock? No, it's so much fun. And then you got Gabriel, who is consistently putting out incredible covers this one. Like, this is Still one of my all-time favorites. I mean, there's no getting away from that one. But we've also got this really pretty one. I'll show you for Kill Cam coming out. And all I'm going to show you is that, because it's gorgeous. Like, are we allowed to say who did that one?
Yeah, Jen Brumall.
Oh yeah.
Yes. She and I go way, way back. And I was all like, hey, I haven't seen your name in forever. And she's like, yeah, I was focusing on like family stuff. And I'm like, aren't we all during the COVID shutdown? And she's just like, yeah, I kind of thought about doing covers again. I'm like, you should totally come back and do them. And she's like, well, I don't really know where I'd feel comfortable starting. I'm like, well, Ethereal.
Come on. Well, she did that beautiful cover for Underland.
Yes, she did.
It was absolutely stunning. Oh, yeah.
So I was all like, yo, girl, you did this. And this looks so good. But you were in my top 5 sales for Underland. You should come back for that. Yeah, okay. I'm like, oh my gosh, is that easy? It's cool.
Well, and then we've also got the ever awesome Lena Dye. She's always putting out cool stuff.
Yep.
Her BGD cover. I don't think I can show you guys that BGD cover. I can show you her last Fallen Leaves cover, which was, for those of you that haven't seen it, Fallen Leaves does have dwarf characters, which are so much fun. But this is still one of my favorite covers. Like, whatever. I had a good time with that one, helping design that one. Gabriel, who we mentioned earlier, he's incredibly talented, and he's doing all the interior art for Fallen Leaves now.
Yeah, I wish we had like 3 of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a monster. This cover came out beautiful. Like,
his roughs are almost look like they're done.
Right. Well, I'll show you one. There's one for Theater 7 issue 2.
Yeah, his roughs are gorgeous.
It's so human. Like, yeah. In animation, they call, like, when you have a character, even if it's a bad character, like not ugly character or something like that, it's still the appeal. So it's kind of how they impact the viewer, the writer. I mean, his character is beautiful in the first place, but then they have like that extra spark of life.
For sure. I wonder if I have it. Let me see if I can pull up. Look, here's another really good Theater 7 cover from issue 1.
I got that one.
That was a fun one. Texas made an appearance,
which is so funny. It was completely by accident. Somebody was like, her lower torso looks like the state of Texas. I was like, oh my god, I totally see it.
You're like, yeah, intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, it was intentional. Sure
totally
was.
intentional. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Shawnee says she has that one.
Yep.
Nice.
It was such a fun cover.
It really was.
It was so much fun. I mean, the more we do with Theater 7 and the more we do with Greed and so on and so forth, we have so much fun, guys, because we can do more with every issue, right? Because it's like the more people that see the books and enjoy the books almost give us like
energy.
A pep, or an energy, or some kind of just confidence even to put out wilder covers than we did before. Like this one from Theater 7 issue 2 is just awesome by Greg Bow and Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of that one. And for the Year of the Digital Flame, for this book, we did another one that was Lewis's. I don't know that I have it. I don't have it that I can show it to you, but it turned out really, really good. Like, I was very happy with it. I do have Steph Wilson's Greed, though, and we haven't shown that yet, which came out beautiful. Carrie Ann and Steph Wilson killed this. They're so much fun to work with. Like, they really, really are so much fun to work with. And just incredibly talented folks and great friends. Love working with those guys. But we've got, the array of covers and the array of talent that we work with on like Theater 7 is just awesome. And there's some covers that you guys won't see ever again. You know, like this one from the preview from Bladen, you'll never see printed again. You know, it was just, you know, people asked about the Shawnee said Steph and Carrie are amazeballs. But this one, you know, we talked, I think it was last week, about the fact that we're not doing the preview issues anymore.
Yep.
This was the preview issue for Theater 7. And I remember going, man, that was just such a fun cover. You know, and people are like, hey, do you have those? And I'm like, no, I can't print any more of those. You know what I mean? I might have like 5 left in my house, you know what I mean? But I'm not printing any more of those. And it was such a cool thing for us to be able to come out and give you guys these, you know, wild covers. I'm going to show you the Limited Eye cover. I'm not going to feel bad about it. And I'm not trying to be monetized on here. So, all the posters on the walls were super fun, huh? Like super fun.
Yeah, there's a few silly specific ones.
Yeah. If you're paying attention, there's a couple good ones in there that lead into other things. But here's the Limited Eye BGD cover, and we haven't shown it, I don't think, in its entirety, but like once. But it's just gorgeous. You know, I'm thrilled with it. But I
like the one where Devin, was it Devin or Mitch? Sometimes I get them. I think it was Devin. Had Eve sitting on the bed, and then all of her posters.
Oh my gosh!
Devin.
He totally was like, I did this for you. I'm like, oh
yeah,
I love it so much.
where she's like sitting on the stuffed animal. Yeah, no, I can't show that one on here. That'll definitely get me.
What?
Let me see. Hold on. Let me find it real quick. I'll look for it while you guys.
I love the like Dino Hunk poster in the back with his like banana hammock and stuff. It's hilarious. So good.
Jesus.
What?
See, we are equal opportunity cover and interior art creators for.
It was so clever and unique, and I just thought it was absolutely adorable. You know, whatever.
I know you did. I'm trying to find it.
Especially with the little dinosaur sitting on the bed, just looking at her up.
Yeah, like, what are you doing there?
Nothing.
Handling business.
Oh my.
I got a couple other covers I'm going to pull to show you guys we haven't shown you. Let's see. But yeah, no, that was a really good one. It was so much fun. I don't know where I've put the PDF for it though, or not PDF.
Did you check the drive?
I don't use the drive.
What?
We made everything simple for you.
This is post April. Like everything's organized.
This is post April. Everything is where it's supposed to be.
It is. Whack. I'm gonna name this new dog Dustin and constantly put him in timeout.
You're always in trouble. Bad puppy. Bad.
Side eye of judgment.
Oh my gosh. All right. It's got to be around here somewhere.
In the drive?
I was pulling some other files. You know, you stop it.
It's probably right next to your subscription to Cajun.
Yeah, exactly. You know this, but you know, you can only
callback joke.
Yeah, callback joke. You can only upload certain size files to this thing, dude. Hold on now.
To this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't grab like TIFF files and stuff. Give me a second and I'll find it.
Oh.
That's why I was saying I was looking for like JPEGs and stuff because you can't.
I didn't.
I'm grabbing a couple covers that most folks probably haven't seen yet.
I didn't know that you had that limitation. Whenever I go to upload stuff, do you need me to convert or at least add a JPEG?
Welcome to being new to the world of Ethereal. We have a shit ton of fun. We're glad to have you. She gets a little spicy sometimes, Shawnee.
Yes.
She gets a little spicy sometimes.
Me?
Yeah, she was talking about you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, she was kidding. What are you talking about?
Hold on one second.
Right. So here's Bladen's Greed cover, and I love this one.
Put a little time into it.
Oh yeah, little tyrant there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like it's just super fun. It's a great cover. And the man puts in amazing time, and David Ocampo is an awesome colorist, so they work well together. And then we had, we were talking about Renee Roth. Here's her Theater 7 cover, and that's another one. I'm just like, holy crap, that looks so good. It really is though, right, Shawnee? Like it's like old school action cover. I was a big fan. Came out really good.
Well, thank you.
That's why I like seeing the tree in the background. You see the demons in the back as well.
Yeah.
You've got the heroes in the back. They're all coming after him.
Oh man, he's one of the scariest characters I've ever written. Like, and that's saying a lot. he's pretty tough. Nasty little bastard.
I'm gonna pause for a couple minutes.
Yeah, go for it, dude. And then April was talking about the Greed cover that they did with the pinball machine from Mitch Massey, and that just came out so good. Like, it was funny when I reached out to an individual, and I'm not going to call him by name, but when I first started working on Greed, it was 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago almost. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, bud, because in person, it wasn't like it was random or anything. And he happened to work for Disney years ago. He also worked for Universal, and he did The Land Before Time. And he was one of the lead artists on Land Before Time. And I was a big fan. And I got him to do a Littlefoot piece that's around here somewhere, all the shenanigans for my son. But he was like, I can't do it because the character doesn't seem very nice. And I was like, no, he's pretty shitty. He's not a very nice little guy. He has no filter and has no qualms telling people where to put it. So Cade is a lot of fun to work with. And if you guys are into you remember that movie Little Monsters, Nathan?
Yep, Howie Mandel and Fred Savage.
That's it. Well, as a kid, I was always like, I think the monster is too nice. You know what I mean? Like, he's too nice. To me, I felt like the monster under the bed was going to be a dick. So, that's how we wrote Greed and wrote Cade. Like, he would just be this not nice little guy. He's literally a little shithead. And he's so much fun to work with, though, because he's got his own backstory. He's got his own secrets. He's got his own stuff going on. But it's fun to work with him because it's just like, it's just a good time. He really, really is fun to work with.
That would be kind of funny at Theater 7 if you did the little monsters in that one. And then one of the little monsters is actually from Greed.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That'd be fun. I watched Bobby's World. What a great show. Bobby's World was so good. Oh my gosh, when we were kids, Bobby's World was great. So I'm going to show you a really cool cover, and this one's by Lewis. For those of you guys that don't know, every year since we started the Ethereal brand itself, we've done a calendar year. We've done something to bring the year together. Last year was the first year we did it, and it was the year of the Digital Flame. So not year of the Digital Flame, I'm sorry, year of the Blue Flame. So every cover was like a fiery cover, that we did the exclusives for that month. This year we've done exclusives called the Year of the Digital Flame, which is to honor our favorite video games each month. And one of my favorites, for BGD this month, we did the Aliens games, and next month this month, geez, time flies. With this month, we're doing Mario Brothers with Greed, and we're doing RoboCop versus Terminator with Theater 7. and Lewis killed it, and I have no problem showing it to you guys. It just was so much fun. Just so much fun. And if you guys haven't played the game, it's a great game, RoboCop versus Terminator, but it's also a great comic book. Like, it really is a great comic book. Really underrated comic book. But the writing was really, really solid for the time period. And I'm a big fan of it. We also showed off on Facebook earlier this evening, and we've shown it off before a little bit. So Cuchulainn is one of our characters in Greed in the Listener, and the cover that we've just got from Vic Moya is just monstrous for Greed. It's we normally do the pretty chicks and stuff from our books and whatnot, which is fun. But this Cuchulainn cover from Vic Moya is just bananas. Like, it's just bananas. I don't want to say this since we're live tonight. We're talking about Vic. I know that he's going in for surgery here shortly. We hope everything goes well with him, and want him to heal up so we get him back as soon as we can get him back, because he's a monster. He's an absolute monster. And he's such a good human, man. He's a good human. And I love that. I like to think most of the people at Ethereal are really, really good folks. It really is, right? It's a gorgeous cover.
Especially the lines and like the fur and the big gut. I mean, it's like, it reminds me like when Bernie Wrightson used to do his stuff,
Right? Look at those veins, man.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I mean, this is your Werewolf by Night. This is the one that you really be afraid of.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, Shawnee. He's such a good person. We want to make sure that, we're all thinking about him, because, anybody going under the knife, we want to look out for. Look at the puppy.
Oh,
it's a puppy.
Hi.
April got a new puppy, and it's like the size of a football.
He's the size of a Great Dane poop.
Well,
he's so little. You're just so little. Oh my gosh. I've been nicknaming him the Floofinator.
The Floofinator?
Oh my gosh. He's so ornery. You are just too cute for words. But his name, awesome, Gus has named all of our animals, and he has named this one Angelus.
Angelus, huh?
Angelus, because he's a huge Joss Whedon.
Right on, Buffy fan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I was a big fan. Big fan. Oh my gosh, huge fan. My son's name is Oz. I was a big Buffy fan. But speaking of pages and good art and good color, this page, I don't even know. Well, I'm sure April's seen it, but probably doesn't remember it. This was when I first started. This was from the first page of BGD. And it was funny how this character, who was meant to be this huge douchebag, which he was, ended up looking like a priest, like a futuristic priest. And I was like, I don't know how that guy ended up getting to look like that. And it was just the funniest conversation we had about this book. Because I really didn't know Joseph was going to throw the shocker in there, because I mentioned it. I wrote it. Like, I should have expected it because I wrote it. You know what I mean? But I didn't know it was going to look so good when it came out. So what a lot of people we've talked about, and I'm sure we've talked about it with Nathan, April and Joseph both know, but I do all the dialogue after I get the art. Like, there's no dialogue in any Ethereal book anymore until I get the art. And because it sounds funny, but I can hear the characters' voices when they talk.
Do that.
Back in the day, I couldn't hear them, and it was a funny thing because a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, man, you gotta hear your characters," and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And now it's an addictive way of writing. It's literally helped me on so many levels and to grow talent wise, you know, to be able to hear the characters and what they would actually say, what they'd feel. And yes, it did spawn me taking a course in Creole. So yes, it's a thing. As much as April likes to joke about it, it did happen. It is a thing.
I just want to hear you speak it.
I mean, I could teach you redneck. That would have been free.
Yeah, teach me redneck for free. You know, I'm down for that. I'm eventually going to need to know. You know, I grew up in Florida and still don't speak redneck. You know what I mean? But one of these days, I'll pick that up as like a fifth language. But you know, the pages and the growth that we've had in BGD have just been so much fun. Like the panel work that we put in to these books. You know, I used to be on top of the panels and stuff like real heavily. Nowadays, I like to write loosely a little bit so that people can really come to their own with it. Like Bladen mentioned earlier, how he can, you know, he has space to do what he wants, you know, and this was such a great page from issue 3 of, you know, Eve and Maya out looking for a gift for Ricky. And they're just out on the town, you know, trying on different clothes and eating different foods and just having a great time, you know, because I like the page turn. I'm a big fan of that, you know, and jumping you into, you know, the situations that you're going to be involved in. But I also like, because we're showing you guys so much and we're suspending disbelief, right? When you make a comic book, as a reader, you naturally know what's real and what's not real. So our goal is to take you out of reality. So again, suspending disbelief. And when it comes to BGD and If It Hops and a couple of the other books, it's something that I want you guys to be able to do like as soon as the book starts, right? Like when it comes to If It Hops, I knew everybody wanted to see the bunny naked. Like it wasn't a joke. I mean, I knew that's what people wanted to see. So it was like, well, let's knock that out early. You know, page 1, page 2, page 3. Let's show you what this character does on a daily basis. They get up, they shower, they prepare for work, like Nathan mentioned earlier. You know, it's something that I wanted to be able to show you to help you forget that she was a rabbit. And before Devin started working with me, you know, he was like, by page 3, you forget that she's a rabbit. You know, now it's a normal chick going to work. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of fun because like when we started putting out BGD and If It Hops both, I had a couple fans that were reaching out and they were like, hey, you've made us furries. And I was like, I wasn't aware what that was, what the community was or anything. I just was completely naive to it. And now that community supports a lot of the books that we put out. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of nice people. And I was like, it was funny to me that we were putting out a book that we wanted everyone to enjoy. And it was something that more and more people realized they had a good time with than they thought they would. You know, like if you look at, what is that movie? Zootopia, right? If you look at Zootopia, most people are like, that's a kid's book or a kid's movie. But if you were to turn it around and you made an If It Hops movie, more and more adults would watch it. You know, you'd have a adult fan base versus a childlike fan base. And that can be said for any form of art. You know, Josh Wheaton actually said it at a panel one night. He was like, you guys have got to quit looking at art and cartoons and assume it's for children, you know, and Ethereal doesn't put out any books that aren't for adults. I don't think we do any children's books. The closest would be Greed, and I wouldn't let my son read Greed. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you're like, just know what we're putting out and the kind of product that you're getting.
Well, it's no different than in Japan. I mean, if you think about anime, for example, anime is not a cartoon. That's something everybody watches every day. It's just a normal way of life.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
the same it's artwork. You know, you can look at it as being boobs and whatever, but if you look at it from the art perspective of it and looking like, hey, how they drew this, how did they style it, the curve, the look, you know, if you look at it from art's perspective, it's a big difference, you know.
Absolutely. Well, I have an issue with, and you can ask either of the other people in this panel. I have a issue with like indentation.
Mm.
If it doesn't show the indentation, it goes back. Like it'll go back every time, because it doesn't matter unless you're grabbing metal or something incredibly hard. It's going to move in some aspect or another. Either that or your fingers are going to move. You know what I mean? The flesh on your fingers is going to adjust. You know, like if you've got a character grabbing the rear end of another character, which we like to do every now and then, you know, you're going to see the indentation from the fingers and the butt. You know what I mean? Or, you know, if they grab someone's arm, you're going to see the indentation in the flesh. You know, it's very important. My girlfriend is an anime fan. 10 years ago when I met her, I said it's fucking cartoons, LOL. Now I know better and have massive respect for it. For sure. I mean, it's just, you know, we're about to put out Ethereal's very first manga in the next little bit called My Metal Girl. And it's actually a comic book size book, and you aren't reading it right to left. You're still going to read it left to right. But it's going to be a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. And you're going to get the traditional, you know, ethereal spice in it and whatnot. But the artists are killing all the stuff they're putting out right now. So this, oh, it's so sweet, though, April.
The puppy's fired.
Fired.
Firing the puppy.
The puppy is so adorable, though. I'll let you borrow my puppies. You'll want to keep one of them. The other one you're going to want to give back. You'll keep the golden retriever, but the pit bull will come back, I'm sure.
Well, if you remember back in the 90s, they had a saga called Vampy. Vampy was the anime version of Vampirella.
Yes.
But it was definitely not made for kids. You know,
well, look at Spawn.
Actually,
I mean, when Spawn was out on HBO, Spawn was as close to anime as you could get.
And I loved it.
It was gory. It was crazy. It was great, though. It was really, really good. One of these days, Mr. Hunter and I are going to have a pilot for something done eventually. Eventually, we will.
Yeah.
We're excited. I harp on it every now and then, but
I remind him how much it costs to animate things, and he goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Well, you know, eventually we'll get it.
Eventually.
Well, you know, as an engineer, I keep feeling I'm like, oh, well, I'll do all the work, and then we'll get somebody to actually go in and color it and, you know, put texture on it, because I don't want to do that. I'll build the models, you know, but then it's like I remember how long it's going to take me, and I'm like, I just don't have the time to do that anymore. So I'm new to all this. How do you all feel when Archie relaunched and went all Dawson's Creek? You know, when it comes to I think he's talking about the book, because he said relaunched. So when it comes to the books, you know, I didn't pick up Archie. I read it as a kid, and then I didn't pick it up again until it got into horror. Did I pick it up again? And I only did that because we had a shop. You know, we had a comic shop, so it was like I was buying. Oh, sorry, I can't see. It says Facebook user. I'm so sorry. I apologize. My fault. I can't see it all because that's what it says. It doesn't tell me who's saying it. And now I feel like a total dickbag, but I couldn't see it. Anyway, so when it comes to like Archie, I had a blast with Archie when it came back, and it was like, was that Jughead series, the werewolf Jughead? You know, that was great. They did Betty and Veronica versus Predator.
Oh yeah, I read that one.
Hello, Claire. It's a pleasure. It really is. I wish I wish it would show up. So when we do this live, it would show your name and stuff for you. But no, the Archie the Jughead stuff where he became a werewolf was cool. The Archie and the zombie stuff was a lot of fun. Like some of those were real low print runs though. You couldn't get too many of them. Thank you, Shawnee. God bless you, Shawnee. I love you to pieces. You're amazing. But they would, when it came to Archie and the Betty and the Veronica stuff on the relaunch, I couldn't get into it as much because I thought they changed a lot. And as a kid, we read it and we were, behind it, but I couldn't get too much into it. I think that Betty and Veronica is a great like segue into like My Metal Girl, though. Not My Metal Girl, I'm sorry, to Kill Cam. Because Kill Cam is very much a girls just want to have fun type of book. It really is. I'm excited about it. I think that Bladen and I have had a lot of fun putting it together. It's like, we started putting it together. It was like my very own Powerpuff Girls, right? Like we had a trio of chicks that were just all different personalities, and we were trying to put together a story that was different than anybody else has done before, And I remember not having a name for it. And I had this cool like bounty hunter chick story written out, and April comes in and she's like, well, what's the name of the bounty hunter girl book? And I was like, oh, fuck. I don't know. We should come up with something good though, right? So we were all just like bullshitting with names, and I was outside. I remember I'd taken the trash out and I was walking back around the side of the house, and April said something, let's call it like Kill Cam. And then I was like, oh my God, yes. And then they can, every bounty that they go after will be live. They'll have a camera following them around, and I don't know how we got the Space Cowgirls added behind it. It was in the same conversation, but it was just such a fun, working with Ethereal is a really fun workplace. Like it is a really fun workplace. Like we have a good time. But there's so many really good projects coming out. There's so much art coming out that's ridiculously cool. And now that we're doing so much traditional stuff, more and more people can pick up the artwork, like the beautiful pages that we put out, like this is from Stitches in the back of BGD. Man, that's a good story too, though. Stitches is stupid fun. Nate, you've had to have read a little bit of Stitches, huh?
A little bit. I just started today.
Oh my gosh!
So I can't wait to get through. I can't wait to get through issue 2, and then when 3 comes out, just to kind of see like how it goes in the storyline.
Right.
It's spicy.
It is. Stitches is super spicy. Like it's, when Stitches is another one of those stories where I had to second guess what I was doing because I almost didn't do it because I was worried about the response. I'm very conscious of, the fan base's reactions and how they feel about products and stuff, and when it came to Stitches, we're literally from the perspective of the villain, and you see a little bit of that in certain books and stuff, and I don't know that it's done to the degree that we've been pushing it, but Stitches is something where I really wanted you to feel the pulse of the victim as stuff is occurring in that point of view, in that short series that we're putting out. One cool thing about Stitches is you'll get instead of being broke down like it is in the comic books, in the trade paperback actually has a section for Stitches. Like it'll read just like its own book in the back of the trade paperback. So I'm very excited about that.
Is there any plans to make like an individual comic just for Stitches after you get through the whole story?
So the stuff with Stitches is leading into the main book. Like it'll eventually be a throwdown between like Ricky and that character. But there's also an event between him and Corvus, and he's going to be his own villain. You know what I mean? His own character in its own right. But I just wanted to grow the character enough before to give you guys a feeling about the character before that we threw him in the world of Babes Going Dinosaurs. You know, he's there in the world of BGD, you know what I mean? But I wanted, before we started throwing him in there with main characters, I wanted you guys to have your own feelings and your own thoughts about him before, you know, he had those interactions. Because when it's different when you make a new character and the new character is, let's say, like Maya, right? If you put a brand new character next to Maya, Maya is a well-known character and she's been around. So she's going to steal the spotlight from the character that hasn't. You know, she's going to be interesting. You're going to want to see what she's doing. You're paying attention to what she's wearing, her actions, the way she's talking. And when it comes to a new character, I just didn't want him to be drowned out by these larger than life characters that we'd already created, you know. So now you've got this character you've barely seen, which is super fun with Stitches. Like, you guys have seen a little bit of him, but you really don't know much about his features. He's always wearing these jackets. He's always wearing hats. You know what I mean? He could be your average dude, you know, like he uses that as a serial killer. You know, he's literally in the public all the time. Like, he hangs out in Piece of Tail like it's nobody's business, you know? So I'm excited to see where the character goes and develops, you know, because I've got story for him already put together. I've got concepts for him, where he's going, what he's got going on. But I don't want him to be a villain that we just toss away. You know what I mean? Like, I want to build him up to where he has his own stuff going on. Maybe he gets his a one-off or a 3-book miniseries, or, you know, something like that. But, you know, things like that are to come. Like, I've got plenty of ideas for things. Like, there are characters in from the listener that will get their own one-offs, you know, because they show up in Greed, you know, that need a little bit more attention. Like, we've got a character, you know, we work with the 4 Horsemen, you know what I mean? So I've got a story coming out eventually called, you know, Death, the First Horseman, you know, and that's going to be a mini series that comes out. And but we've got a lot on our plate right now. So it's like, if I can, you know, if I can put certain things away for, you know, a rainy day, I definitely want to keep them in the loop for folks, you know. But if you've read Guy's journal from the listener, I mean, you know, there's literally so much to draw from, you know. Like, I wrote the listener, like, I'm up to like issue 25, 26 for the listener, edited, ready to go, you know. So there's all these characters we can draw from. But I also realized that world is not as popular as If It Hops or Babes Going Dinosaurs, you know. So we always want to give you guys what you want to see primarily, you know, what you want to receive. Because we listen. Like, when it comes to the fan base, I always listen. You know what I mean? Arcane. Just, what is Arcane? Did you watch that?
Yeah, it's probably the best animated thing that has been created.
Okay, so she asked, what with the knowledge we have compared to her own, she loved Arcane. Is there anything that even compares in our minds? Arcane was unhinged in hers. What are our thoughts?
That's, I don't know, that's kind of an open question. I mean, I think, like, aesthetically, or like world building, there's a lot of different aspects, but like Arcane did every single character so well too, though. I think Underland probably has a bit of the vibe for that.
Okay.
With like maybe like the neons and kind of like the really interesting character types and things like that. I mean, Arcane's kind of cyberpunky as well, though, with like technology and magic. So
Gotcha.
It's nuts. It's like if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's
It was on
storytelling
Netflix right now.
1,000,000%. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Oh, I'll check it out then. No worries.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing because I'll definitely check it out. No, I
Fight scenes, everything's amazing. Sorry, I can talk about
no,
it.
I'm down for whatever's amazing. You know me, I'll jump on it like anything. But
Now we gotta
we've
get you to see Firefly.
I'm working on that.
Okay, come on, you got to watch that one. Come on, now. It's been out for like 30 years.
I'm trying. I'm
It's at
trying.
least 10.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to catch up on.
Arcane. No, I have a lot to catch up on. Like right now, I've got that. I've got a couple other stories I'm trying to pick up, but I read a lot, and like
There's
a lot.
There's a Firefly comic.
I believe I have the entire run in here somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure I have it. Like I'm, if not 2 copies of the entire run in here somewhere.
Ooh.
But no, there's a like right now I'm working on all our books, which is like a ton right now. But they also just put out a new Alien novel that I have to read. So I got to pick that up. I can't remember what it's called though. It's brand new, like a couple months old. But I got to pick that up. But I'm working right now on the next issue of Underland. I just finished all the edits and stuff for that. So everybody will dig that, I think. April just sent me this image that we got from Lewis, and that actually showcases Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Don't you dare show.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I won't show it.
Boss lady told you no.
Yeah, I won't show it. I thought that's why she sent it to me. I thought she wanted
No, I sent it because I'll forget if I wait until after the show. But it's for approval, so obviously you like it.
Well, it looks good to me. I'm about it.
I love it. I will let Lewis know to proceed.
Yeah, no, I can't show you that one yet. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was going to. But there's a lot of cool stuff coming out, guys. And with the aspect of, being able to do 2 books at once, we've got just so much more we can do, and like this is, I think we've shown everybody this one, but this is the Year of the Digital Flame Aliens homage that we did.
Yeah.
So fun though. Like Baby Eve, ridiculous. Yeah, I just so much fun.
I love the basket.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. She's a great character. There's just a lot we're doing right now that is, building the brand. That's why we're not doing really many shows this year because we're focusing on building the brand and putting out incredible covers like this one.
Oh yeah.
Like
I had to get that one.
It came out good, right?
It did. Both.
It's another design of mine, huh?
Who flex, bro?
Yeah, I gotta flex every now and then. Right. Baby Eve is the Floofinator in dino form. Absolutely, Shawnee. I agree. Baby Eve is the Floofinator. Baby Eve is like one of those characters that's gonna need her own book, so
the Negro Goof.
Yeah, exactly. For another cool thing, for those of you guys that didn't see it, we just finished up pre-orders for Frog Legs. And I want to say thank you while we're live again to everybody that picked up Frog Legs because it was a huge success. Like the book was a great success. And the covers came out beautiful. The team worked really, really hard on them. Nathan earlier mentioned having, new talent working on different books. Well, Elberty is working with Bladen to make this incredible book. And I couldn't be happier. I think that, man, it's beautiful, Shawnee. Like, I can't describe how awesome it is every time I see people working with this book. Like, it's just so much fun. You know, yeah, for sure, absolutely. We like when we started working on Frog Legs, it was just like, how dark into the voodoo or how far into the bayou are we going with it, and it came out stellar. Like everything that came out from that book just was looking better every time I saw it, and the Ethereal team, if you guys don't follow them, make sure you reach out and follow the Ethereal team members because they put out, again, like we just showed you the Vic Moysta. Here's another Vic. I mean, just the guys and gals that work with us are just monsters. I mean, they're absolutely monsters. And to show you guys the different things that they create with our characters is something that, I mean, I love to do. I love to be able to share with you guys the projects and what we're working on when I'm allowed to. See, April, when I'm allowed to, I'm there. But like, here's a page that JT
the
did.
puppy's been a little like, love me, and I'm like, I'm busy right now.
Yeah, no, that's my life. Some summer camp thing. The artwork is totes cute and sweet. I don't know. Might be BDI, huh? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that does summer camp.
Yeah, they just had one not too long ago. Tom had it.
Yeah, Tom does the summer camp stuff. He's a good dude too. I mean, BDI's been around for
a long time,
like ever. For sure, absolutely. But no, this character was great. She was the concept that I gave JT was, I need you to do a short story about a character that is being stalked every evening through the city of Senno City by an individual, but it had to have a heartbreaking end to it, and I wrote the end and everything for him. He just had to figure out how to get from the beginning to the middle to the end and in betweens. But it was such a cool concept. Yeah, Shawnee, exactly. But it was such a cool concept to work with everybody on these Neon Streets, because each story in these Neon Streets is a different artist. They each have a different colorist, and it's just been such a pleasure to work with so many different people on one project. But we're definitely moving forward. Here's another. I don't know why I don't have this page colored in here, but here's another great one by Bill and Elberty for Frog Legs. There's just, I'd never written a love story before, and it was a blast to put together this book because it's got all your ethereal spices mixed with an actual like loving relationship, not like a carnal relationship, but an actual like a deep seated relationship. I hadn't done that, so I had a lot of fun with it. Most of the time I'm writing stuff like Theater 7.
Woo.
Yeah.
I love that Carrie homage in the background.
Yeah. It's funny. All the ethereal spice with a man bun. That's exactly right. You can't go wrong with a man bun, dude. I don't care what anybody says. You can't go wrong with a man bun. But we're constantly working.
And unnecessary hair flips.
Hair flips, yeah, right on. I'm learning all about the unnecessary hair flips.
On the docket.
On the docket. Do the flip. Here's speaking of stuff and things, here's Bladen's cover for
that's all gritty.
Kill Cam.
It's not coming in. It's a little gritty.
It is gritty.
It's a low res preview, y'all.
Oh man, I don't have another copy of that one. Sadly.
It's cool. No, it'll entice them. They'll want to know what it actually looks like.
Right, absolutely. Well, it's fun because speaking of greed, we've also got the I've got a couple pages I can upload and show you guys that Ed Garcia's done for the last issue. I love working with the guy. He's super, super talented. And that would be Kukulane before he like wolfs out on people.
Mm-hmm.
What a great character. He's mad fun to work with. Yeah, absolutely, Shawnee. Yeah. Makes me want a better look. It makes me want to get a better look. I'm just like, damn. And we talked about Gabriel earlier. I'm trying to go through and show you guys different stuff because Nathan's made me think about it.
Mm-hmm.
The different artists. Yeah, so there's a splash page from Theater 7 issue 2. Not Theater 7. Oh my gosh. Fallen Leaves issue 2.
She grew up.
Yeah, it's the time has passed. Yeah, for sure. Many years have passed since issue 1. And I just, I love issue 1 because it made April care about elves.
You don't get tired of mentioning that, do you?
I don't.
Oh,
Nope.
that fucking dog. It's gonna be fine.
She did get bigger. She got bigger, for sure. Well, it's like, it's not ever stupid to be a fan of the art, right? Because one thing about ethereal books, and I'm proud of, and constantly proud of, is that you could read an ethereal book if you couldn't read. I think that we make it to the point where you can get a simple concept of an entire story by looking at the pictures in the pages. And I remember many years ago, I don't know what book it was, but I picked up a comic book and the dialogue was such trash, but the artwork was so good. And when I got older and I started putting out my own books, it was like, I wanted to make sure that you got both. You didn't get shit art and you didn't get shit dialogue. But if you didn't have the time to read the dialogue and you're not a fan of reading a lot, that you could still enjoy the story and understand what was happening.
It's like the old heavy metal magazines. They used to do that all the time. They would have no actual talking in the book at all. It was just artwork.
For sure. And they were still great.
And that was amazing,
Oh my gosh.
I'd get it every month just to get the extra comics that was inside of it. Or Frank Frazetta little image.
Man. Oh, Frazetta. Goodness gracious. What a talent there, boy.
Oh, yeah.
We did an homage to Frazetta in the Listener issue 1. That was a lot of fun. We did a Death Dealer homage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one of the first books we sold out of. And I've never been one to do an overly done homage. Like if you look at most of ours, if we do them, they're pretty different. But that one was one that just stuck out and we needed to do it. And it came out really, really good. Was happy with it.
Everybody knows that look.
Absolutely.
Even like Coffin did it too. They did it with Lady Death.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you still see it. It's Frazetta. As soon as you see that, or Dawn Attack, any of those books, you're gonna see that. Like, oh yeah.
Well, you're never gonna see us do an ASM 300. I tell you that.
Oh, thank good Lord. Thank the good Lord.
You're never gonna see it. Speaking of Underland, we got issue 2 coming out here before long. That was David's cover for issue 1.
Crazy Bunny.
Oh my gosh, so cool. Like I had so much fun putting that book together, and Lieris has done an incredible job bringing the characters to life with that book. I can't wait for everybody to get it. Like there's still times when I'm like, I call the printer. I'm like, hey, can we bump us up a little bit but they've been so kind to us, truthfully, to get our entire line of books moved over to their company was quite a feat. So I'm very, very grateful to them.
And I appreciate it because you guys took the time to make sure it was done right. versus putting a crap product out. Like I've got crap products from Kickstarters, and what happens is I don't back them anymore.
Right, for sure. Well, I mean, it's like we go in, and if we're going to spend the time, right, and we're going to want people to read the product or view the product or anything, you got to give it everything you've got in every issue. You know what I mean? You can't go in and be like, oh, I'm going to half-ass this one. It's just, it doesn't work, you know, because again, you're not selling it to 5 or 10 people. You're talking, most of our sales are 250 to 400 backers, you know, so it's like we have to make sure that we're doing the best we can for these folks. Oh, Bladen's got stuff going on. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It means a lot. We're, you know, we a team of 53 people right now busting our asses to make the best products we can make. You know, we're definitely out there doing the things. Oh, you got Ryoshi on the thing too? What are you over there doing? Doing stuff. Man, so speaking of Ryoshi, what did you, when you first saw the flaming skull, what did you think about that?
So I was waiting to see, okay, is it going to be a supernatural thing? You know, because when I saw the Den of Foxes, you know, in there, and I'm like, this could go a lot of different ways. Like, why are they there for the first, you know, but it sounded like reading through it, like they were stuck there in an aspect as well. Like, you know, so you're kind of wanting to see, I mean, if you did a good job of like putting the hook in there, because it's like, you don't know, are they good? Are they bad? Are they stuck? Or what's going on?
You're going to find that they are a, you know, Kay was going as a advocate from Eden to speak to them. And as an agent, she's almost like a delegate, you know, not just an officer, but a delegate from the actual city itself. So you're going to find out a lot about those, the Fox characters. And that has a lot to do with the panda as well, while they're out there and stuff. So there's a lot of motion. And with Ryoshi, one of the really interesting things is going to be her making her way into Eden and how she gets into Eden. You know, that character has been so much fun to come up with an actual, like, to bring in spirituality and magic and stuff into the world of Vivid Hops, where we've kept everything as super realistic as we could keep it in the first issue. You know, it was so much fun. Hey, thanks again so much. And, you know, if you ever want to come on and hang out with us, just let us know. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome to come out on the show and we'll shoot the shit. But, you know, when we brought her into like the realm of magic, we were all kind of like, oh man, how are people going to feel about us, you know, bringing in like this type of character?
Yeah, are we shifting genres or what?
Yeah, it was something where I was like, you know, she's almost like my Willow to my Buffy. You know, she's very very magically oriented character, but we don't show like a lot of magic. It's not like she's out here practicing, you know, fireballs or anything. You know, it's very much like a possession. You know, the being has its own will and is doing its own thing, but it's not like she's not summoning waterfalls or, you know, riding around on a carpet or anything. It's very much like a almost more of a religious thing.
That's what it felt like. It felt like a cult thing.
Yeah, so we'll get more and more into the background of Ryoshi in the 6 additional pages in the If It Hops books. That's what we're going to be focusing on those pages with, is Ryoshi's backstory. In issue 2, you actually get a little bit of her as a youth. Oh, it's April and a puppy.
Oh, we actually see her for once. That puppy.
Yeah. It you know, it looks like one of those things that you clean the floor with.
The Swiffer mop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
New puppy. You weren't
somebody
kidding.
had a
It's
thing.
itty bitty. Like that
Huh?
baby's itty bitty.
Oh yeah.
Like
Itty
I
bitty
thought you were kidding. Like I was like, man,
little-
that baby is
little-
like literally like the size of a softball.
Yeah. Look
my
at that face. Oh,
My dogs would
goodness.
never. Well, my puppy would never sit still for said shenanigans. But
You put it down and it starts howling like it's gonna die. I think you heard it earlier. I just like seriously, you're fine.
no, it has to go. It has to go in your purse, and you have to carry it around now.
I'm gonna turn it into the broke Paris Hilton. It's gonna be wonderful.
It's gonna be
What do
wonderful.
you mean I can't have a puppuccino for my dog? Like, man,
You know, what's funny is if you go to Dunkin', Dunkin' will give them to you for free.
well, so will Starbucks.
I didn't know that. I'm not bougie enough to go there very often.
See, you're only bougie when you get your leather heated seats.
Oh no! Don't you make fun of my seats. Don't you make fun of my leather heated seats.
You done crossed the line.
Yeah, no. My ass has to be warm.
I don't like those sweating down there.
Yeah, like
Hey man, it's cold here, man. I like to drive around with the warmth on the bottom and the back and whatnot. Shawnee says butt seat warmers are the bomb. Yes.
I never have had one.
Really?
No.
Oh man. You don't know what you're missing.
Well, I moved out of Illinois to escape all of that coldness. I went to the desert for a good long while. Now that I'm
It is
here,
cold today.
I'm like, it's not that cold. It's fine.
No.
Yeah, unless it's like this last week, it doesn't know what the weather wants to do. We went from 85 down to 50 for highs.
So good. So good.
Nope, you can keep all the 50, you can keep the 30, you can
I can
Nope.
I can go with a little bit of lower 50s.
not me.
If it's lower than 53, then that's Midwestern, Northern territory.
You can keep that 105 and shit to yourself too. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
0% humidity, I'll take it.
You know what's funny? When we were in Phoenix, I had April's like, hey, it's gonna be really hot. And it's like 9:00 at night. She's like, it's gonna be really hot when we go outside. And I was like, it's not gonna be hot. And we get outside and it's like 108 degrees at 9:00 at night. And I was like, it still doesn't feel as hot as like 95 in Florida. You know, it just does not feel that hot. And I was like,
If you're not used to it, it's a little suffocating.
man, I'll say this though, Phoenix is a great city. If you want to go to a convention, go to Phoenix. Phoenix is such a pretty city. Like I had no idea how like I'm used to like working and living in downtown Jacksonville. So it's like when you go to Phoenix, you're just like, man, everywhere you turn, there's no homeless people, there's no shit on the ground, there's lights and stuff everywhere. I was blown away.
And the street signs are like backlit, so you can actually read.
Right.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
I can't hear them like,
little
what does that say? I can't
go to Phoenix. Phoenix
I missed my turn.
Yeah, no. And then they got that weird old In-N-Out burger place that's the bomb too.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, In-N-Out burgers are okay.
It's better than McDonald's.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, very true. Man, I don't know what happened to McDonald's, but it is not great.
Well, so you know who I like that people have been shitting on recently that have never had it and have just recently had it.
Whatever.
I call it Kicky Chicky. That's not what it's really called. Kickin' Chicken. No. Yeah. Is that what it's called? What? See, now that I've called it Kicky Chicky with my son so much, I can't even think of what it's really called.
Chicky?
Yeah,
what?
So he's 4. So he's like, he can't say the name of he can't pronounce one of the words in the name of the restaurant. So he calls it Kicky Chicky. And I'm like, so I started calling it that with him, and now I can't think of what it's really called.
Oh,
Kickin'
man.
Chicken is what I think it's called.
Chicken.
and it's like the best chicken ever. And now, and it's more expensive than Zaxby's, but it's better chicken than Zaxby's. I don't know. I don't do Zaxby's anymore because they just raised the prices and started giving me shit chicken. So anyway, how did we get to talking about? Oh, I talked about Whataburger. That's how it happened.
You did it.
Yeah, and exactly, Shawnee. That's what happened. My poor little dude called it that so many times that that's what I've been just like. That's what it's called. It's Kicky Kicky going forward, you know? And then that's what my 12-year-old calls it now. And the only one that calls it something normal is my wife. Heather will be like, it's this. And I'm like,
what?
What are we talking about again? What is it called? And she'll be like, "Puh." So whatever. It's Kicky.
Well, it's funny with my
chicken.
kids.
Slim Chicken is what it's called. Slim Chicken.
That's funny.
We just had a Slim Chicken open about 2 weeks ago, but I haven't been yet.
It's all over the place now, and it's middle of the country type of place, and it's so good though. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's too expensive," and I'm just like, "Okay, you don't eat it every fucking week, you know what I mean? You get it every now and then, and it's great. Like it's like 6 chicken fingers, like chicken fingers that are like the length of my fucking whole hand, 6 of them, and fries and a drink for like $12.
That's how Raising Cane's is. That's why I like going to Raising Cane's.
And they've got like 40 different sauces too. Oh my gosh. Oh, and homemade fucking see, now you're making me talk about food and I'm hungry. Homemade banana pudding in have a mason jars of banana pudding. Oh my god.
You're gonna go and have a bowl of cereal.
Shut up. Shut up. Whatever. I was thinking about it.
Well, do you have Bojangles down there?
We have Bojangles. I've never eaten there though.
Okay, so just think of it this way: it's one of the places you can go to, drive through, and get a gallon of tea as part of your order, and it's like $2.
Jesus Christ!
And it's like you get a gallon of tea, then you can have as many biscuits as you want. Like it's complimentary. Every meal comes with a biscuit.
That's crazy. Well, we've been on here for 2 hours, and I know that April, Bladen, and I have. We're about to talk about some art stuff while we've got each other. We normally don't have enough time to get each other at the same time because we all do crazy stuff. But we're going to talk about some new art stuff. We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Shawnee, we appreciate you as always for hanging out with us. Amazing, Shawnee. We love Shawnee to pieces. So thank you, Shawnee. And we will see you guys next week because I know next week's the end of BGD 4. So we'll be talking a little bit about the campaign. We'll talk a little bit about the books, and we're going to start getting ready for this next campaign. Really excited about it. But thank you guys. We appreciate you, and I hope you all have an incredible evening.
Have a good night.
Puppy.